Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. My name is Father Samuel Udobo, CSSP. I am here just to remind us of the season that we are in at present. The liturgical cycle, the calendar of the Catholic Church is different from the calendar we have out there. Our calendar is a cycle, and it begins on the first Sunday of Advent, like you heard a few months ago or a few weeks ago when we celebrated the first Sunday of Advent. I'm sure in every parish the priest explained to you that it was the first day of our Catholic calendar. So when we have Advent, that is also something very important, an important event in the Catholic Church. After the celebration of Advent, which is preparing us for the birth of Christ at Christmas, and also to prepare us for his second coming in glory, we celebrate Christmas. So it is this way. It is Advent, it is Christmas, it is ordinary time, then we have Lent, and then we have Easter, and then we go back to ordinary time. That is the liturgical cycle. So it goes through cycle A, B, and C. Now, we celebrated Advent, and then we were privileged to celebrate Christmas joyfully. Now, the church yesterday returned after the baptism of our Lord Jesus Christ to the ordinary time. And after the celebration of Christmas, the Christ is born, God's incarnation. We celebrate the presentation of God at the feast of the Epiphany. That is the manifestation of God, which is famously known as the celebration of the three wise men who were led by the star to offer the little Jesus the gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And then the liturgical celebration ends with the baptism. The Christmas celebration ends with the baptism of our Lord Jesus Christ. And that brings the celebration of God's incarnation to its end. So ordinary time, what does it mean? Simply means that we are in a period where there is no such a great event to be celebrated like we have Christmas. It is ordinary time because we are celebrating God who has allowed us or given us the opportunity now to practice what he has handed to us. Remember, after the birth of Christ, the celebration of his baptism is simply the launching of Christ's ministry amongst us. When he received baptism, of course, not because he sinned, but just to clear the way for us, so we will follow in his footsteps. He launched his ministry, and simply I am going to say to us that the Gospel of Luke chapter 4 verse 18, where it is Isaiah's prophecy that is fulfilled by Jesus Christ when he said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he has fired me to go into the world." And he indicates the mission that the Father has authorized him to carry out. Now, in the ordinary time, I said, we don't celebrate any major event. But as I recall the Gospel of Luke, I am literally saying to us that Jesus, who is now ministering amongst us, through us, has given us the texts that we need for our own celebration of his coming to us. I'm not limiting it to the text of Luke, but when you look at the Gospels, the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, and Luke especially, you will discover the ministry of Jesus Christ. So we are celebrating indeed what God has established amongst us. Ordinary time, as you know, the color is green. No special celebration, as I said before, but we are celebrating God who lives amongst us. And the Catholic Church will always remind us that God is with us. His coming is what is symbolized in the Catholic Church. His presence amongst us is what is symbolized in the Catholic Church when we say to ourselves that he is alive in the tabernacle. So when we now go into the world, we celebrate in ordinary time, we are expected not to leave what Christ has brought to us dormant. Of course, the good tidings he brought is not just for our own celebration, for us alone, but that we bring this into the world. So just as he was baptized and then began his ministry, we have already received baptism, and we are expected to go into the world as well and to minister to God's people. And like Isaiah will, Gospel of Luke will have it for us. We also have received the Spirit, and we are into the world saving people, especially who need our own attention. So, brothers and sisters, let us really approach also this ordinary time with all dedication and commitment. Let's not just hear the word ordinary and we think that there is nothing special, so there is no need for me to participate fully in the life and mission of my parish. I pray for all of you now that we are celebrating the ordinary time, which is also a time for us to continue to meditate on the mystery of God with us. Let us put ourselves together and bring ourselves to celebrating what is coming, which is Lent. After the ordinary time, we are going into the celebration of Lent, which ushers us into Easter. So, brothers and sisters, thanks for listening once again, and may we continue to be God's people in the world.
Señor,